So welcome to our hub of Gyatva once again, children. Today we are going to start with another interesting chapter of physics, the temperature and its measurement. Before starting with the chapter, we'll be starting with the aims and objectives of the chapter, to compare different thermometers, to interpret and analyze the temperature readings of the clinical and digital thermometer, to learn how to use thermometer to measure the temperature of an object and the surrounding atmosphere, to understand the concept of temperature and focus on the basic understanding of temperature, to learn to measure how hot or cold something is, to conduct experiments for recording the temperature. Before starting with the chapter, let us summarize few points regarding the chapter. First is temperature and its measurement. What is temperature? Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. A hotter object has a higher temperature than a colder one. What is the need for measurement of temperature? Why do we need some device to measure the temperature? For example, 70 degrees C, when there is a flow of heat, it releases temperature, it releases heat, and the temperature drops to 20 degrees C. So the other is the sense of touch, that gives you heat. So relying solely on our sense of touch to judge temperature can be misleading. So for accurate assessment, thermometers are utilized. So what's a thermometer now? A thermometer is a device which is used to measure temperature. There are several types of thermometers designed for specific purpose. For example, the main types are: the first is the clinical thermometer, second digital thermometer, third laboratory thermometer, and fourth infrared thermometer. So we are going to study in detail about these four thermometers. The first is the clinical thermometer or the medical thermometer. A clinical thermometer is used to measure the temperature of a human body. As the name suggests, clinical thermometer. The range of this thermometer varies from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius or 94 degrees Fahrenheit to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. The human body temperature is 36.9 degrees C temperature. Degree C is the centigrade, that is a unit of temperature, or 98.4 degree F, that is Fahrenheit, is the degree of temperature. So here it is shown a clinical thermometer which has the bulb in its interior end, then you have its construction, a capillary tube in it, and it's a kink. Features: a kink or constriction, that is constriction is labeled, kink is the same as constriction. Kink means a curve like thing in the capillary prevents the mercury from falling back automatically into its bulb. So you have to remember that a clinical thermometer consists of mercury. What is the use? You place it under the tongue or in the armpit for the reading of your body temperature. Note, the normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Even if a person is unwell, the temperature of human body normally doesn't go below 35 degrees Celsius or above 42 degrees Celsius. That is the reason that a clinical thermometer has the range from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Now, while measuring the temperature with the help of clinical thermometer, there are certain precautions that you should take. First, ensure the mercury level is below 35 degrees Celsius by giving a jerk. That is why kink is present in the clinical thermometers, so that the mercury level does not rise initially. Second point, clean the thermometer before and after use, or you can sterilize it before and after use. Third point, handle the thermometer with care as it is made up of glass. Fourth, don't hold the thermometer by the bulb while reading it, because it will not at all give you the correct reading of your body temperature. Point 5, read the thermometer by keeping the level of mercury. Now the next thermometer we have is the laboratory thermometer. As the name suggests, this is used for measuring temperatures in the scientific lab while conducting the experiments. The range of this laboratory thermometer is from 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. The construction, or how does this laboratory thermometer look like, it is shown in the figure. Again, you have a bulb in its interior end, then it is filled with mercury, a capillary tube, and a stem which is going inside the middle part of the laboratory thermometer, which is also the capillary tube. So again, its features as we have discussed for the clinical thermometer, it does not have a kink or constriction, so the level drops immediately after use. So as you can see, in the bulb only we have the mercury. It can contain red colored alcohol or mercury as a thermometric liquid. It is used, this laboratory thermometers should be kept upright. Second, immerse the bulb completely in the substance whose temperature is to be measured, ensuring it does not touch the container sides or the bottom, and read the temperature while the thermometer is still in the substance. Note, mercury is often used in clinical and laboratory thermometers due to its following reasons. First, it is shiny, so it is easily visible. Second, it has uniform thermal expansion. Third, it doesn't stick to the glass surface because it is cohesive in nature. Fourth, it is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Third, digital gallium thermometer. This thermometer uses an electronic circuit to measure temperature and display it numerically on a digital display. They contain a thermistor inside the tip which measures the temperature. So it is a battery operated resistance which is directly proportional to the temperature. Features: speed. Digital thermometers display the temperature in seconds in a very fast mode. Accuracy. Simple digital thermometers are much more accurate and precise than your clinical thermometers. Ease of use. Definitely, digital thermometers are easy to use and handle in comparison to the clinical thermometers. So I hope these three thermometers are clear to you. Next we come to our fourth thermometer, that is the infrared thermometer. Its purpose is to measure temperature from a distance by using infrared radiations which are present in the sun rays. Features: touch-free, ideal for surface and body temperatures. It doesn't allow the spread of infection, so was commonly used during the COVID-19 pandemic disease because it measures the temperature from a distance. Pointed at the forehead or an object for instant reading. Temperature scales. Now we have the temperature scales. Celsius, degree C, commonly used in most parts of the world. Water, for example, freezes at 0 degrees C and it boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Next is Fahrenheit, or we write it as degree F, capital F. It is usually mainly in Europe and United States. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Kelvin, that is the SI unit of temperature. It is Kelvin, is absolute zero. This formula you have to remember: C upon 5 is equal to F minus 32 by 9. It is equal to K minus 273 upon 5. Absolute zero is 273.15 degrees Celsius. That is the triple point of water. Note, the formula for converting Celsius to Kelvin is K is equal to degree C plus 273.15. While the size of the degree is same as in Kelvin and Celsius, the two scales are not equal at any point. Temperatures in Celsius can be negative, while Kelvin scale has absolute zero, that is no negative temperature. The minimum possible temperature is minus 273 degrees C Kelvin. Next is, what do we mean by least count? The least count of thermometer is the smallest division on its scale or the smallest value that can be measured accurately with the thermometer. Next is, you have the room thermometer, measuring air temperature. Air temperature refers to the temperature of the surrounding air. Mercury thermometers, known as room thermometers, are used to record the air room temperatures. So if you have to measure the room temperature, then you have to use which kind of thermometers? Mercury thermometers, which are also used as room thermometers. So I hope this theory or the summary of the chapter is clear to you. Now we come to the first exercise of the chapter, that is the MCQs. Question number 1. The measure of degree of hotness or coldness of a body is called heat energy, Celsius, Kelvin, or the temperature. So the correct option is D. The measure of degree of hotness is called temperature. Question number 2. Mercury is widely used in clinical thermometers because it is shiny, it is opaque, it has a constant rate of expansion. So both the terms are right, because it does not expand very quickly and it is shiny, so it is readable. Question number 3. Which of the following is not a scale of temperature? Kelvin scale, Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, or the Richter scale? I think you are aware Richter scale is used to measure the intensity of earthquake. So it is not a scale of temperature. Question number 4. A Celsius scale have dash parts if freezing point is 0 degrees C and boiling point is 100. So the range is from 0 to 100. So how many parts it will have? 100 parts. Question number 6. Match the columns and choose the correct option. In column 1, temperature measured from a distance, scientific experiment, human body temperature, or the battery operated thermometer. So the temperature, if you have to measure from a distance, it has to be a infrared thermometer. So A goes with R. So as you can see, the correct option would be B. Scientific experiment, the first, human body temperature would be your clinical thermometer, and the battery operated thermometer would be your digital thermometer. Question number 7. Column 1, absolute temperature, normal body temperature, kink or toxic liquid. Column 2, 370 degrees C, 273.15 degrees C, mercury or constriction. So absolute temperature, it refers to 273.15. So A goes with Q. So the correct option would be D. See, any one you are able to match, the rest follow. Question number 8. Which of the following statements are incorrect? Statement 1. There are 100 divisions in degrees Celsius. It is correct. Normal. Statement 2. Normal human body temperature is 98 degrees C Fahrenheit. It is again true. Statement 3. We should hold the thermometer with its bulb. No. So that statement 3 is incorrect. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 9. Which of those following statements are incorrect? Again आपने देखना है कि इन तीनों स्टेटमेंट में से रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट कौन सी है. Statement 1. Temperature of a body tells how hot or cold it is. Yes. Statement 2. SI unit of temperature is degree C. No. SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Statement 3. Normal body human temperature is 36 degrees Celsius. Yes. So the incorrect statement is statement 2. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 10. Choose the incorrect answer. Again you have to choose the incorrect statement. First, heat flows from a body at higher temperature to a body at lower temperature. Yes. Temperature that runs, thermometer that runs by battery is digital thermometer. Yes. Kink is present in laboratory thermometer. D. We cannot rely on our sense of touch. No. Question number 11. Kink is present in laboratory thermometer, digital thermometer, clinical thermometer, or infrared thermometers. It is present in clinical thermometers. Question number 12. The liquid used in laboratory thermometer is generally, it can be a colored alcohol as well as it can be a mercury. It cannot be water. So the correct option is either A or B. So it would be D part, that is both A and B. Question number 13. The Fahrenheit equivalent of 37 degrees Celsius is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. That is your human body temperature. Question number 14. Temperature at which Celsius and Fahrenheit read the same. This answer is minus 40 degrees Celsius is minus 40, at which the Celsius and Fahrenheit will give us the same reading. So the correct option is C. Question number 15. A digital thermometer measures temperature using mercury, alcohol, heat sensors, or water. It is a digital thermometer, so it will measure using heat sensor. Question number 16. Which scientist is known as the weather woman of India? It is Kalpana Chawla, Anna Mani, Rosalind Franklin, or Marie Curie. The correct answer is option B. Anna Mani is the weather woman of India. Question number 17. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. See, for few questions you need not be given the MCQs also. You should be knowing about them. So the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. That is option C. Question number 18. Range of laboratory thermometer is minus 100 degrees Celsius to minus 110 degrees Celsius. So the correct option is option B. Question number 19. Device which is used to measure temperature, barometer, odometer, thermometer, or anemometer. It is a thermometer. Question number 20. Normal human body temperature is 37 degrees C, 35 degrees C, 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, or both A and B. So the correct option is D. Because Celsius as well as Fahrenheit, they both read the same. So the correct option is D. Question number 21. Infrared thermometer measure temperature uses light sensors, sound sensors, heat sensors or pressure sensors. See, infrared, that is responsible for heating effect also. So the correct option would be C, heat sensor. Question number 22. The type of thermometer that measures temperature without making contact with the human body, that is, it measures temperature from a distance, which was used during COVID-19 also. That is infrared thermometer. So that is a option C. Question number 23. Anna Mani was known for developing the Kelvin scale, creating the first digital thermometer, contribution to meteorology and weather instruments, or discovering infrared thermometers. She was there for contributions to meteorology and weather instruments. So the correct option is C. Question number 24. While measuring temperature, laboratory thermometer is kept. Always it has to be kept vertically. सीधा ही रखा जाना चाहिए. So the correct option would be A. Question number 25. Read the following two statements and choose the correct option. Statement 1. Tip of digital clinical thermometer should be washed with soap and water before and after use? Yes. Statement 2. Do not hold the thermometer by the tip. Again, this is also correct. So both the statements are correct. So which option do you see? Option D. So for question number 25, the correct option is D. Now we come to the next exercise of the chapter, assertion and reason questions. Again, you are already aware, option A, अगर assertion reason दोनों statements ठीक हैं और reason उसका correct answer दे रही है तो option A पे टिक लगाएंगे. बट अगर दोनों statements ठीक हैं लेकिन reason correct answer नहीं बता रही है तो option B पे टिक लगाएंगे. assertion statement true है लेकिन reason false है तो option C, और assertion false है reason true तो option D. Now goes the first question. Assertion. Mercury thermometers are being replaced by digital thermometer. Yes. Reason because mercury is toxic and difficult to dispose. It is true. So the correct option is A. Question number 2. Assertion. Clean the thermometer with alcohol and water. B. Do not hold the thermometer by its tip. So both the statements are correct, but reason is not giving the correct explanation. So the option B. Third, assertion. We can measure temperature of hot milk by clinical thermometer. This is false. Reason. Normal temperature is the average temperature of large number of healthy people. This statement is true. So the correct option would be D. Question number 4. Assertion. A clinical thermometer has a very short range of temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. This is correct. Reason. The temperature of the human body normally doesn't go below 35 degrees C or above 42. So the reason is also correct and it is giving the correct explanation of assertion. So option A. Question number 5. Assertion. SI unit of heat is joules. It is correct. Reason. It is named after the English physicist named James Prescott Joule. Both the statements are true and reason is giving the correct explanation. So the option is A. Next we have the case study. Krish wanted to skip alcohol, so he pretended to have a fever. His mother gave him a glass of hot milk. When no one was around, he secretly dipped the thermometer into the milk and then showed it to its mother. His mother agreed and suggested to take rest. So which thermometer did he use? She used a clinical mercury thermometer or a digital thermometer. Question number 2. Why didn't the thermometer burst when dipped in hot milk? Because the temperature of the milk was within the safe range of clinical thermometer, that is 35 degrees C to 42 degrees C. Or it also shows that the milk was lukewarm. Had it been very much warm, hot milk hota, तो maybe that the clinical thermometer would have bursted, वो फट चुका होता. Question number 3. What could have happened if the milk's temperature was 60 degrees C? The higher temperature could cause the mercury in the thermometer to expand beyond the limit, potentially bursting the capillary tube and causing the mercury to leak out. So that is why when Kriti dipped the clinical thermometer in the milk, it did not burst because the milk was lukewarm. Hope everybody is clear with it. Now we'll come to the next exercise, very short answer questions, which are either 1 mark or 2 marker questions. Question number 1. Which device measures temperature? It is thermometer. Question number 2. What is the actual measurement of hotness or coldness of a body? that is temperature. It is actually the definition of temperature, that is the degree of measurement of hotness or coldness of a body. Question number 3, name 2 types of thermometers. So clinical and laboratory thermometer. Infrared also you can write, anytime you can write, or digital thermometer also. Question number 4, what is the normal temperature of a healthy human body on the Celsius and on Fahrenheit scale? See, this answer you should be able to learn. What is that? Celsius पूछा है तो पहले Celsius वाला आंसर लिखेंगे 37 डिग्री Celsius and Fahrenheit 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Question number 5, what substance was traditionally used in thermometers? The traditional substance was mercury. Question number 6, which type of thermometer uses heat sensors to measure temperature? It is a digital thermometer. Question number 7, what is the SI unit of temperature? Kelvin, or capital K is the symbol. Question number 8, what should be done to the digital thermometer before and after use? Wash the tip with alcohol and water. Taking care that the water does not enter inside the digital area. Question number 9, what is the range of a laboratory thermometer? It is -10 degree C to 110 degree C. Question number 10, what is the temperature range of a clinical thermometer? It is 35 degree C to 42 degree C, which is the normal human body temperature range. Question number 11, how does a digital clinical thermometer work? A digital clinical thermometer measures the temperature using heat sensors and displays the temperatures digitally. It runs on the batteries and provides an easy to read digital display, unlike your clinical thermometer. Question number 12, what did people use to detect fever before thermometers were developed? So before the thermometers, people used to detect fever by checking the pulse rate, as the fever also affects it. However, this method was not at all reliable, since conditions other than fever could also influence one's pulse rate. So this led to the inventions or the making of thermometers also. Question number 13, how is the Kelvin scale related to the Celsius scale? Again, ये आपको formula याद रखना है. Kelvin K is equal to degree C plus 273.15. तो इससे आप कोई भी कन्वर्जन कर सकते हैं. किसी भी 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस सपोज दिया हुआ है उसको केल्विन में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. 30 केल्विन दिया हुआ है उसको सेल्सियस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 14, which figure shows the correct way of reading the temperature on a thermometer? So you have 4 figures with you. There is a beaker which contains some liquid and a thermometer is inserted, and then we have the position of eye. As you can see, the position of the eye should be in vertical direction along the mark of the thermometer. जहाँ पर रीडिंग आ रही है उसके बिल्कुल vertically aligned होना चाहिए. So उसके according correct option is option B. What is the function of kink in clinical thermometer? The kink is used to prevent the backflow of mercury into the thermometer bulb when the thermometer is removed from the mouth of the patient. The kink or the constriction prevents the mercury level from falling so that you can read the temperature of the patient carefully. Now we come to the next exercise, that is the short answer type questions. Question number 1, explain why a digital thermometer is considered safer and more accurate than a mercury thermometer. The most significant advantage is its speed and accuracy in measuring the body temperature. Unlike mercury thermometers that can take several minutes to provide a reading, digital thermometer usually deliver results in a matter of seconds as fastest mode. डिजिटल थर्मोमीटर बच्चे भी यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको रीडिंग नहीं करनी आती क्लिनिकल में तो आप डिजिटल थर्मोमीटर से जैसे ही वो टेम्परेचर रीड करता है वो आवाज करता है, ब्लिंक करता है. सो डिजिटल थर्मोमीटर इज प्रेफर्ड. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, व्हाट इज टेम्परेचर एंड व्हाई इज इट इम्पॉर्टेंट? Temperature is a measure of how hot or cold an object is, and it is important because it helps us to understand the heat levels of the bodies or the substances by sense of touch. It detects the heat. Question number 3, give reasons. First part, a clinical thermometer cannot measure the temperature of boiling water. Yes, because clinical thermometer की एक रेंज है. वो क्या रेंज है? 35 डिग्री सी से 42 डिग्री सी. और बॉइलिंग वाटर का टेम्परेचर कितना होता है? 100 डिग्री सी. सो वी कैन नॉट यूज. सो बॉइलिंग वाटर हैज अ टेम्परेचर ऑफ 100 डिग्री सी while the clinical thermometer has a range of 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius only. So you cannot use the clinical thermometer. B part, it is necessary to wash the tip of the thermometer before and after use. Yes, because it helps us to prevent the spread of germs and ensures the accurate readings. It is essential for maintaining the hygiene also, because in this way the growth of germs would be stopped. C part, mercury is used as a thermometer liquid because the properties of mercury. First, it is often used in clinical and laboratory thermometers. First point, because it is shiny, so it is easily visible. Second, it has uniform rate of thermal expansion. Third, it does not stick to the glass surface. So fourth point, mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. यहाँ से आपके पास एक और क्वेश्चन भी आएगा कि which is the metal which is liquid at room temperature, तो उसका आंसर क्या होगा? Mercury. Now question number 4, differentiate between clinical and laboratory thermometers. Again, difference को हमेशा tabular form में लिखना होता है. On one side we write clinical thermometer and on the other we write laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer, first point, it is used to measure the temperature of a human body. Laboratory thermometer, it is used for measuring temperatures in scientific laboratories while conducting the experiments. In clinical thermometer, kink is present. In laboratory thermometer, kink is absent. The range of clinical thermometer is from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, whereas for laboratory thermometers it is from -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Hope you are clear with the questions also. Okay, now we come to the next question. Question number 5. How do non-contact thermometers work and what are their benefits? Non-contact thermometers का मतलब जो distance से temperature measure कर लेते हैं, और उनका दूसरा नाम क्या है? Infrared thermometers. Measures the temperature from a distance. So अब definitely जब distance से measure कर रहे हैं तो क्या होगा? Like we had used them during the COVID-19, तो क्या होगा? आपका पर्सनल हाइजीन मेंटेन रहेगी, इन्फेक्शन का स्प्रेड रिस्क कम होगा. सो नॉन कॉन्टैक्ट थर्मोमीटर्स और इंफ्रारेड थर्मोमीटर्स मेजर्स द टेम्परेचर्स फ्रॉम अ डिस्टेंस यूजिंग इंफ्रारेड सेंसर्स. दे रिड्यूस द रिस्क ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग इन्फेक्शंस. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. व्हाई इज आवर सेंस ऑफ टच नॉट एट ऑल रिलायबल फॉर मेजरिंग टेम्परेचर? Because our sense of touch can be misleading because it depends on the previous temperature that our body had experienced. For example, water that feels warm to one hand may feel cold to the other after it has been in ice water. So we need the units of measuring temperatures, that is thermometers. Question number 7. What role does temperature play in weather reports? Temperature is a key factor in weather reports, indicating how hot or cold the environment is daily. Maximum and minimum temperatures, they help us to protect whether the conditions such as a heat wave or cold wave would persist. Also because pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. Question number 8. Find out the least count and hence read the thermometer. Least count was what? It was the least value or the minimum value that at which the thermometer would give us the accurate reading. So you have the thermometer and you have to find out the least count. Least count would be you use the 30 minus 20, the upper main scale division minus lower scale division, divided by the number of divisions between 20 and 30 we have. So between 20 and 30 we have 10 divisions. So 30 minus 20 divided by 10, that will give you 10 upon 10, that will give you 1 degree Celsius. So the reading would be, see till where black ink, that is after 5 2 divisions are there. So 20 main would be 25, उसके बाद 2 divisions और आ रही हैं, तो 25 plus 2 will give you 27 degree Celsius. Question number 9. Find the least count and hence read the thermometer. Again same way, कोई भी दो रीडिंग्स को आप नोट कर लो. जैसे हमने एक 39 और 40 को पकड़ लिए, इन दोनों को रीडिंग्स को पकड़ लो. इन दोनों के बीच में कितनी नंबर ऑफ डिविजन्स हैं? 10. सो दैट विल गिव यू, सो 40 minus 39, that is 1 upon 10, that will give you 0.1 degree Celsius. So it reads what? 40 plus 7 into 0.1. 40 तो मेन स्केल रीडिंग है और बाद में डिविजन्स को काउंट करो और एक डिवीजन किसके रीड कर बराबर कर रही है? 0.1. तो 7 into 0.1 कितनी होगी? 0.7. plus 40 will give you 40.7 degree Celsius. Question number 10. Find the least count and hence read the thermometer in 0 degree Celsius and 0 degree Fahrenheit. So the same way, एक ऊपर वाली रीडिंग, एक नीचे नेक्स्ट रीडिंग, दोनों को माइनस करो डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ डिविजन जो उन दोनों रीडिंग्स के बीच में, दैट विल गिव यू द लीस्ट count. So the least count is 30 minus 20 upon 10, that gives you 10 upon 10, 1 degree C. Reading 30 plus 3 into 1, that gives you 33 degree C. For Fahrenheit, 80 minus 60 upon 10, that gives you 20 by 10, that is 2 degree Fahrenheit. So the reading will be 80 plus 5 into 2, that is 80 plus 10, that will give you 90 degree Fahrenheit. Question number 11. Identify the given thermometers and give their features. As you can see the figure A, ये आपने अपने घर में भी देखा होगा, इसको हम बोलते हैं डिजिटल थर्मामीटर. Digital thermometer uses an electronic circuit to measure the temperature and display it numerically on a digital display. They contain a thermistor inside the tip that measures the temperature. It is battery operated. B part, that is the clinical thermometer. Again इसको भी आपने अपने घर में देखा होगा. A kink or constriction in the capillary which prevents mercury from falling back automatically into its bulb. Figure C, if you remember, ये वाला थर्मोमीटर आपने देखा होगा ड्यूरिंग कोविड एरिया जब वो टेम्परेचर डॉक्टर्स नोट डाउन करते थे. तो इस फिगर C कौन सा हुआ? इंफ्रारेड थर्मोमीटर. दैट इज टच फ्री और इट इज आइडियल फॉर सरफेस एंड बॉडी टेम्परेचर्स. It is used for measuring temperatures from a distance. It doesn't allow the spread of infection. That is why it was commonly used during the pandemic areas. Usage: pointed at the forehead or the object for instant reading. Question number 12. Draw a neat and well labeled diagram of laboratory thermometer. So again, you draw as it is shown in the figure. You have to label what? You have to label mercury, you have to label bulb, you have to label the capillary tube along with the stem. So for this diagram you can refer to the summary of the chapter also, where we have already shown the diagram. Question number 13. What is absolute zero and what temperature is it on Kelvin scale? Absolute zero is the lowest possible temperature and on the Kelvin scale it is represented as 0 Kelvin. It translates to, or it gives at which value in degrees Celsius? Minus 273.15 degrees Celsius on the Celsius scale. Question number 14. What precautions should be taken when using a clinical thermometer? So what are the precautions? First, thermometers are especially fragile. Fragile का मतलब होता है बहुत soft होते हैं और बहुत जल्दी टूट सकते हैं. So they are fragile and they can break easily. तो इसलिए आपको thermometers को बहुत gently handle करना चाहिए. Second, बिफोर एंड आफ्टर यूज थर्मोमीटर को एक एंटीसेप्टिक सॉल्यूशन से क्लीन करके रखना चाहिए. सो क्लीन द थर्मोमीटर बिफोर एंड आफ्टर एवरी यूज विद एन एंटीसेप्टिक solution. Question number 15. How do you measure temperature using a laboratory thermometer? To measure temperature with a laboratory thermometer, immerse the bulb in the substance without touching the sides or bottom of the container. जिस कंटेनर में या जिस लिक्विड में आपने टेम्परेचर उसका मेजर करना है, उसी के अंदर थर्मोमीटर को टच या सस्पेंड करके रखेंगे. ध्यान रखेंगे साइड्स पे या बॉटम पे वो टच नहीं होना चाहिए. सेकेंड पॉइंट, होल्ड द थर्मोमीटर वर्टिकली. सीधा पकड़ के रखेंगे उसको, ग्लास के ऊपर या इधर उधर साइड्स पर नहीं टिकाएंगे. सो होल्ड द थर्मोमीटर वर्टिकली एंड रीड द टेम्परेचर व्हाइल इट इज स्टिल इमर्स्ड. ये नहीं कि लिक्विड से बाहर निकाल दिया, लिक्विड के अंदर ही वो इमर्स्ड होना चाहिए, तब आप टेम्परेचर नोट डाउन करेंगे. Ensure your eye level is in line with the liquid column in the thermometer. Hope you have understood, and I think this chapter is interesting also. Now next heading we have the long answer type questions. Question number 1. What precautions should be taken when using a clinical thermometer? So first, thermometers are especially fragile, which can break easily, so you have to handle them with care. Second, you must use the thermometers before and after use with an antiseptic solution. Question number 2. Explain the precautions that need to be taken while using a digital clinical thermometer. First, it should be used after reading the instructional manual of the thermometer. जब आप डिजिटल मैनुअल मार्केट से लेके आते हैं तो साथ में इंस्ट्रक्शन मैनुअल भी देता है, तो उसको रीड करने के बाद ही आप इसको यूज़ करेंगे. सेकेंड, The tip of the thermometer should be washed with soap and water before and after use. Third, वॉश करते वक्त ध्यान रखेंगे कि डिजिटल पोर्शन पानी में ना चला जाए. So while washing, care to be taken to keep the digital portion such as the display out of the water. Fourth, do not hold the thermometer by the tip. Question number 3. What precautions should you take while using a laboratory thermometer? First point, it should be kept upright. Upright का मतलब सीधा रखेंगे, vertical रखेंगे. Second, immerse the bulb completely in the substance whose temperature is to be measured, ensuring it doesn't touch the container sides या bottom पे touch नहीं करना चाहिए. And read the temperature while the thermometer is still in the substance for which you are measuring the temperature. Question number 4. Explain the role of Anna Mani in the field of meteorology and her contributions to the temperature's measurement. Anna Mani was a great Indian scientist known as the weather woman of India. She made significant contributions to meteorology by developing and building a large number of weather measurement instruments. Her work reduced India's reliance on foreign instruments. India has grown to lead the world in renewable energy due to the contribution of Anna Mani in this field. Question number 5. There are 10 divisions between 40 and 50. If the mercury thread rises to 7th division after 40, what will its least count? अब देखिए least count के लिए हमने क्या करना है, 40 और 50 है, तो 50 minus 40 डिवाइडेड बाय कितनी डिविजन्स थी, 10. So 10 upon 10 मतलब आ गया 1 डिग्री C. अब वो 7th के बाद राइज कर गया था. इनिशियल रीडिंग कितनी है 40 और 7, लीस्ट काउंट कितना है आपका 1. सो 40 प्लस 7 इंटू 1 दैट गिव्स यू 40 प्लस 7 दैट इज 47 डिग्री सेल्सियस. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. 20 डिग्री और 30 डिग्री में 5 डिविजन है. मर्क्यूरी लेवल 30 के बाद कितनी डिवीजन, 20 के बाद कितनी डिवीजन राइज किया, 3 डिविजन. अगेन 30 और 20, ये 20 है ये 30, लीस्ट काउंट होगा 30 माइनस 20 डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ डिविजन. तो डिग्री आपका लीस्ट काउंट कितना आ गया, 2 डिग्री, 2 लीस्ट काउंट आ गया. तो रीडिंग कितनी है 20 डिग्री C प्लस 3 इंटू 2 दैट इज 26 डिग्री सेल्सियस. सो होप यू आर क्लियर विद इट. नाउ वी शिल स्टार्ट विद द लास्ट एक्सरसाइज ऑफ द चैप्टर NCERT zone. क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. द नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर ऑफ अ हेल्दी ह्यूमन बीइंग इज क्लोज टू 37 डिग्री सेल्सियस. Had it been 98.6 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट तो वो भी करेक्ट होता, लेकिन क्योंकि वो डिग्री C है इसलिए वो रॉन्ग है, इसलिए आप लिखेंगे 37.0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. 37 डिग्री सेल्सियस इज द सेम टेम्परेचर एज, देखिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में क्लियर हो गया है, 98.6 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. A part, the hotness or coldness of a system is determined by its temperature. Second part, the temperature of ice cold water cannot be measured by a thermometer. It is a clinical thermometer. Question number 3. The unit of temperature is degree. That is either Celsius or Fahrenheit. Question number 4. The range of a laboratory thermometer is usually minus 10 degree C to 110 degree C. Question number 5. 4 students used a laboratory thermometer to measure the temperature of water. You have to identify who is using the correct method to find out the temperature of water. As you can see, first में तो thermometer ही नहीं है, तो वो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है. Student 2 उसने हाथ से पकड़ा हुआ है, Student 3 वो पानी में है, and Student 4 again. So who do you think followed the correct way for measuring temperature? It is the Student 2. Question number 6. Color to show the red column on the drawings of thermometers as per the temperatures written below. जो temperatures हैं आपको उसको कलर करके आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि कितना वो टेम्परेचर शो कर रहा है. लाइक फर्स्ट है 14 डिग्री C, फिर है 17 डिग्री C, फिर है 7.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस. सो यू हैव टू कलर टू शो द रेड कॉलम ऑन द ड्रॉइंग्स ऑफ थर्मोमीटर्स. अगर वो 14 डिग्री C है तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपको उसको कलर करना है. 17 डिग्री C है, वो थर्मोमीटर बना है, वहाँ पे 17 डिग्री C तक आप उसको कलर करेंगे. I hope this activity is clear and you can do it on your own. Question number 7. Observe the part of thermometer and answer the following questions. What type of thermometer this is? अब देखिए इसका लोएस्ट मार्क है -10. -10 इसका मतलब रेंज कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुई है, -10 से, और -10 से कहाँ किसकी रेंज स्टार्ट होती है, लेबोरेटरी थर्मोमीटर की. तो रेंज कहाँ से होगी, -10 डिग्री C to 110 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. So which is the thermometer it is? It is the laboratory thermometer. Second part, what is the reading of this thermometer? देखिए कहाँ तक हमने मार्क किया हुआ है. The reading of the thermometer is 26 degree Celsius. Third part, what is the smallest value that this thermometer can measure? अब अगेन इसमें आपको क्या फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा, उसका लीस्ट काउंट. देयर आर 10 स्मॉल लाइन मार्क्स बिटवीन एनी 10 डिग्रीज. चाहे आप 0 से 10 देखो, 10 से 20 देखो, या कहीं पर भी देखो कि यूनिफॉर्म रहता है. तो 0 से 10 देखेंगे, 10 डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ डिविजन्स कितनी है इसमें, 10. सो द थर्मोमीटर कैन मेजर द स्मॉलेस्ट वैल्यू ऑफ -10 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. Question number 8. A laboratory thermometer is not used to measure our body temperature because उसकी रेंज ही नहीं होती. उसकी रेंज कहाँ से स्टार्ट होती है, -10 से 110. तो हम इसलिए उसको यूज नहीं कर सकते. The thermometer has to be kept inside our mouth while taking the reading of temperature. The eye for reading the temperature has to be directly in line with the level of the liquid in the thermometer. This becomes highly inconvenient to use a laboratory thermometer for measuring our body temperature. क्योंकि laboratory thermometer को उस substance में immerse करके भी रखना होता है, तो वो measure करना बहुत inconvenient होगा. दूसरी बात, उसमें kink नहीं होता, तो mercury सीधा ही bulb में पहुंच जाएगी. So clinical thermometer is removed from the mouth and brought directly in front of our eyes to take a reading. Second, the smallest value of reading required for body temperature is 0.1 degree Celsius. So if small markings are made on a range of -10 to 110 degree of the laboratory thermometer, the thermometer will be too long. इतना बड़ा thermometer आपको बनाना पड़ेगा to measure the human body temperature. इसलिए हम laboratory thermometer को use ना करके हम clinical या digital thermometer use करते हैं. Question number 9. Vaishnavi has not gone to school as she is ill today. तो her mother has kept a record of her body temperature for 3 days. 3 दिन से वो वैष्णवी का टेम्परेचर नोट डाउन कर रही हैं. देखिए फर्स्ट डे पे 7 बजे टेम्परेचर था 38, 10 बजे 37.8, 1 बजे 38, 4 PM 38, 7 PM 40, 10 39. So which was Vaishnavi's highest recorded temperature? As you can see, that was 40 degree Celsius. On which day and at what time was Vaishnavi's highest temperature recorded? अब देखो इसमें 40 डिग्री सी कौन सी कॉलम में आ रहा है, डे 1 में 7 PM पे आ रहा है ना, तो आंसर क्या लिखेंगे, डे 1 7 PM. क्लियर हो गया. ये कोनो क्वेश्चंस आपने टेबल को देखकर आंसर करने हैं. थर्ड पार्ट देखिए, ऑन विच डे डिड वैष्णवीज टेम्परेचर रिटर्न टू नॉर्मल. नॉर्मल का मतलब 36 टेम्परेचर, 37.2 डिग्री. So that was day 3. That was temperature around 36.6 degree Celsius. That means on third day she was fine. Question number 10. If you have to measure the temperature 22.5 degrees Celsius, which of the following 3 thermometers will you use? Explain. Thermometer A. It can measure the smallest value of 1 degree Celsius, and thermometer C can measure the smallest value of 2 degrees C as per the line marking on these. So only thermometer B has the marking on it to measure the smallest value of 0.5 degrees Celsius, which is necessary for measuring the temperature of 22.5 degree Celsius. So that means you will be using only the thermometer C. Question number 11. The temperature shown by the thermometer in figure is 28.0 degree C, 27.5 degree C, 26.5 degree C or 25.3 degree C. So as you can see, the correct answer is 27.5 degree C. Question number 12. A laboratory thermometer has 50 divisions between 0 degree C and 100. So what does each division measure? अब देखिए 0 से 100 है, तो 100 minus 0 divided by number of divisions कितनी है, 50. So 100 upon 50 कितना आ गया, 2. इसका मतलब लीस्ट काउंट कितना हो गया थर्मोमीटर का, 2 डिग्री C. और इट मीन्स दैट द ईच डिविजन विल रीड 2 डिग्री C. Question number 13. Draw the scale of a thermometer in which the smallest division reads 0.5 degree C. You may draw only the portion between 10 and 20. अब आपने ड्रॉ करनी है स्मॉलेस्ट डिवीजन कितनी होनी चाहिए, 0.5. और स्केल का रीडिंग कितनी दी हुई है आपको 20 and 10। हमने स्केल बनाना है इसमें, तो स्केल इज ऑलरेडी ड्रॉन। 10 से 20 तक आपने डिवीजन शो करनी है और उसके बीच में कितनी बनानी है 0.5। क्वेश्चन नंबर 14, कोमल टेल्स यू दैट शी हैज अ फीवर ऑफ 101 डिग्री। Does she mean it on the Celsius scale or on the Fahrenheit scale? She means the temperature on the Fahrenheit scale because human body temperature does not normally go below 35 degree C or above 42 degree Celsius। जो हमारा क्लिनिकल थर्मोमीटर होता है उसमें वो नहीं जाता। Fahrenheit scale की रेंज होती है from 94 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit। So it means that she is talking about the Fahrenheit scale। So hope children you have understood the chapter and you have liked our hub of Gyatva. Tune in to more lessons, more interesting chapters from physics.